So welcome everybody to the Synergy Group's Power 30. This is our call where we get to interview a superstar in the EXP world that is crushing it in production, as well as building a great business with their downline people that they're helping. So today our fabulous guest is none other than Shelley Johnson, and she is in North Carolina, right? What part of North Carolina are you in?
Craig and I have a team in Charlotte, North Carolina called LePage Johnson Realty Group.
Okay, and we also have her partner who is currently muted, Craig LePage. Are we able to unmute him for a second so he can say hello?
Yep, give me 1 second here.
All right.
All right, Craig, you're good to go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be here.
Well, thank you for taking the time out, both of you, to get this rolling. So without much delay, we want to get right into this because we only have 30 minutes and we got a lot of important content we want to cover. So Shelley, first of all, I had a great conversation with you getting ready for this call. I barely slept thinking about things that we talked about. So let's jump right in. Okay. We're looking from an agent standpoint of two parts of production. One, how to grow your sales business. Two, how to support and help grow the downline. You had great thoughts on both. Which would you like to start with this morning?
Let's start with our real estate business and then roll that, parlay that into how to attract and be able to support your group.
Okay, and so you and Craig, your team, you guys did, if I remember correctly, was around 85 million last year in sales production.
We did, and we're at 50 million this year so far.
You're 50 million already this year, so you're on pace to blow that 85 out of the water.
That's the goal.
All right, yes. Well, for everybody that's out there, we can help support the goal by sending referrals to their marketplace. If you know it. I'm assuming your guys are still open for receiving referrals. Is that correct?
We love referrals.
Okay.
And EXP has been amazing for referrals. That's one thing that surprised us is how many referrals we do get through EXP.
Excellent. So that's another nice little plug there, right there. So referrals coming from all over the country.
So we'll give them back.
And sending them back, right. So what do you think are the things that have allowed you to have this explosive growth since moving over to EXP? And you moved over, was it about 2 years ago?
2 years in July, Craig and I and our team moved over. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you noticed that were a little bit different?
Well, to be honest, Craig and I thought we would be on an island. We thought we would have our team and we'd just keep doing what we were doing at KW. We were kind of by ourselves, thought we were innovative. And we really didn't expect that we were going to have like the level of collaboration that we do. And we never had referrals, like you just said, we've never had referrals like we did in the past. But the collaboration has been very surprising to us. And we're meeting top agents across the country, and getting to be aligned together has changed the whole dynamic of the whole real estate industry. And I think that energy has allowed us, and putting money back into our business has allowed us to really grow through our revenue share. We've taken, before it was like Craig always says, we had a job, we didn't have a business, and now we have a business, and everybody on our team has a business now and a future. So I think that energy and excitement between us, now everyone's an owner, you just can't be more excited than when you actually own something.
So I'm going to peel back the onion a little bit on that. I heard you say something like, when you first came over, coming from the previous company, I believe that's where you were working. When you first came over, you had this thought that there's a high chance that you're going to be, the word was, out on an island, meaning probably not having a whole lot of support.
Right.
And so elaborate a little bit more on that.
So we thought we had planned on doing a boutique brokerage, and we thought we'd just be a boutique brokerage, and EXP would handle some of the high level things like getting the agents paid, our systems. And we thought, well, there's an opportunity there. It may or may not turn into something. We weren't really 100% sure because there was 23 or 2,600 agents at the time when we joined. So we didn't know the potential of the company. We knew that we felt like the right foundation pieces were there, but we had not seen it in play yet. So there's a little bit of trepidation when you join a company that's promising everything the EXP does, whether that really is going to be in place. And the fact that we were 120 agents out of the 2,300 just in Charlotte. So with having only a hundred agents or more, we thought, well, we really didn't have the support before, so how could we possibly have the support now?
And so with the relationships of other top agents around the country, you've definitely been able to take away ideas and things like that to help grow your business. Share with us something that you guys have implemented in the last year or two that's not only helped you and Craig with your business grow, but also your team members have also been able to benefit.
I would say that our biggest thing is we've been able to put in place the right people for our team, being able to hire people we wouldn't have had the finances to help hire to put in place has been huge, because if you're working as a team, you need all the pieces, not part of the pieces, or you can't be operating at a low level in marketing and a high level with your clients. I mean, you have to have all those engagements properly spaced out. I mean, like, everybody has to have the right hat on. So I feel like what we've really been able to do is get the people in the right places, because we have more resources financially to, first of all, pay people the right way, and secondly, finding the right people to put in those roles. And then our team, I think just the synergy and the excitement of being able to collaborate on different levels with different agents, and there's more events, there's more things going on for the agents. I think all of that plays a part into the growth. I don't think there's one particular thing or one particular person that made that happen.
So here's what I heard, and I just want to kind of reiterate this back, because we've got agents that, anywhere from brand new in the business, a year or two or less. We've got seasoned veterans. We've got people with other teams, and we have people that are independent.
Right.
What I heard you say was, because of the level of being able to grow your business in other ways. In other words, not everybody was right to be on your team, but you were able to enroll people into EXP that ordinarily you wouldn't have been able to bring on board, helping them grow, produce some revenue share for you. And you've been able to take that revenue share income and put it back into your business in the form of marketing to generate even more production for your sales business. Is that what you're elaborating on?
100%, because like Rummy, for example, is a high producing agent, and he has a mega team. We have David Upchurch in our own market. David Upchurch is not going to join, or Kristen Vining. These are all mega players in our market, and Rummy outside of our market, people in Charleston that weren't ever going to be a part of LePage Johnson per se, but they're a part of our organization. And because we're all aligned and collaborating on a high level, we're able to then work together, and then the money that comes back from them growing their organizations and us growing ours and all this. I mean, right now, this Zoom call is a perfect example. I don't know how many people are on this Zoom. I think there's like 39. That just doesn't happen normally. And everybody on this call, I see your faces, and I'm like, the people that I do know, they're high caliber, amazing people that care about their business, first of all, and the client, and growing their opportunity within EXP.
So, that's a great point from a collaboration standpoint. Is, my experience is a lot of the brokers out there talk about how they're going to help, the other agents in the office all help each other. I was at a very good brokerage prior to being a member of EXP. And I think it's good in theory, yet my experience has been there's a way more sharing, way more giving as part of the culture here. Again, because of what you said, is that everybody seems to benefit. Even if you don't benefit directly from somebody recruiting somebody else, you're going to benefit because of the stock options and the shares that you can purchase as the value of the company goes up. So really, everybody is in it to win it. So one of the things we talked about yesterday in terms of growing your production was, you mentioned something that I thought was really interesting, and I think it speaks to agents on two fronts. One, on the sales front. Two, on the growing and recruiting agents into your business. You talked about the long-term play, the long game. Would you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I think a lot of people are looking and focused on just the quick hit. Just like on leads, if a lead comes in, if they don't want to list or buy this week, we put them on the shelf. We both know EXP has great tools through KV Core and things like that to help nurture, help keep you in front of them, the artificial intelligence. Talk a little bit about the long play on both sides, on how your team benefits from it, as well as how you do that in recruiting.
So as far as the real estate side goes, I've always been a person who isn't afraid to to engage somebody that I may feel like may not have interest in talking to me at the moment, whether it be, a developer, a commercial real estate deal. I just want, knowledge is everything. And so sometimes these relationships, I don't ever think about, well, what is going to be the end result of that? I hope one day that it'll turn into a deal or some opportunity in some capacity, but I don't put limitations on what that capacity could be. And I think that allows me to live in what I call the long play, and not be like disappointed when things don't materialize the way I think they should. So yeah, I have goals and I have things I would love to have happen with those relationships. And I feel like with EXP, like some of the relationships I have, I feel like there would be huge benefits to these folks. And I don't understand why they wouldn't want to be a part of this. It's just not their timing. So we have to respect people's time and their space and where they are. I mean, like right now, personally, I have a lot going on with my family, but I just keep moving forward, just keep going forward. And the long play, like the mega agents, so the person that you think, you know what, I want to hit that, I want to get that guy over or that gal over to EXP. And I would love, if that happened, that would just be such a win for everybody. And those people, I have two of them right now that I'm working with, and both of them are, I would call a long play. We've been 24 months talking with each of them. Last night I had dinner with one of them. I have a lunch tomorrow with the other one. And it's just a period of time where you just have to accept the fact that they're not going to say yes today. But in the future, whether that relationship turns into an EXP relationship and we do build something together, amazing. But in the meantime, there's so many other pieces, the people that they have besides just being a part of our company. And you never know what connection or what doors that's going to open for something else regardless. So I'm not afraid of first knocking on the door and seeing if they'll talk with me respectfully. And I court people respectfully. I kind of like dating. If you want to date the hottest girl, the smartest girl, I'm talking about guys. I'm looking at a bunch of guys right now. So if you're a guy, but for most guys, they do the chasing. If you want to date that person, you have to, show up the right way. You have to be respectful, and you have to if you want the long-term relationship, you don't just go for the kill immediately. It's got to be something that's, maturing and, developing in that relationship. And then all of a sudden, one day you maybe get married, maybe you date, whatever that is. It's no different with any relationship, whether it be a listing or a buyer. I mean, you may see that $4 million house and think, you know what, I'd really like to get that. Well, how do you get in a relationship with those people? Like if your goal is to up your price point, why not? Why not it be you? I think a lot of people short play what they can do. And why can't it be you? I mean, I feel like anybody who's smart enough to be in this company can win it in real estate, and they can win it with EXP agent attraction.
That's a really good point. I think if you look at a lot of agents, the now business is really kind of where most of their time and attention is spent. And ironically, just this last Friday, I went and took a listing on a property that I originally talked to that seller in August of last year. And, having the right tools in place allowed me to stay in front of them, allowed me to keep in contact with them. And it really came down to, as much as I wanted them to sell last August, it has to come around to their time, their decision. And I think that's a good point that you make, that, when we're recruiting agents or we're looking to build a downline, if we get hung up on that person coming over this week, that's about us. And that's not always the best approach. However, if you look at the long-term relationship aspect, which is what I heard you say, is there's so many benefits to just building relationships in general. You don't know where they're going to come in and where they're going to benefit. So be a relationship builder, both with clients, both with agents. Get out there and talk to more people and introduce what you're doing and what you're up to. So That kind of sum that up?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that it's good. I mean, having the tools, like you said, like using tools to stay in front of people is really important, and having a plan. I think sometimes people, they're looking at that. Craig always says they're looking at that next opportunity, and they're not looking at for the call that's going to come tomorrow or this afternoon, rather than like all the old business. All those relationships are business pipeline, and people forget about that. I think that's been one of my biggest strengths, is being able to stay in relationship with people, and people have to know you care. It can't be all about you. And I think that was a great point, that they have to know that it matters and you matter, or they matter to you. So
Well, here's what's interesting. I always looked at it from a standpoint of, if I'm going to go out and let's use listing a property, certainly there's a benefit to me if they list with me financially. But there's also a benefit to the client in hiring me in terms of my skill set. And for anybody that's on this call, you have to remember that if you don't know what your strengths and what you bring to the table are with any client, it's going to be very difficult for the client to attach what that is. Maybe you really care and you go the extra mile. Maybe you're a really good negotiator. Maybe your marketing is off the chart. Whatever it is, you got to have that strength. However, it is about what's most important to the client. And we had an interesting conversation the other day, Cody Lewis and I, he and I were chatting and we said, when we're approaching other agents about the EXP model, a lot of times they're looking at it like, oh, you just want me to join for you. And the reality is, Cody said, no, the bigger game is how much this is going to benefit you by joining, what the opportunities are that aren't available anywhere else.
That's right. It's great words.
Yeah. I mean, it's, if we're not clear on the benefit to them, then it is going to be about it. Right. So, all right. So we've got a lot of people in here that are somewhat newer. How do you, what's the secret sauce? Like, how do you introduce this to somebody that, all right, we're going to ask on two ways. One, somebody you know already, you have somewhat of a relationship, or somebody that maybe, secondarily is you're newer, you're just kind of meeting them. How do you broach this subject?
I think that I think you have to take the person and your relationship in context of how you're going to do it. If it's somebody you don't know and you just know them because of somebody else or what have you, a lot of times I am somebody and just start the conversation about something else and not. I hate that because it sounds very like stilted, but that's not when I think of it. I think of like, how am I going to get in a relationship with this person? What do I have that I can find that's a commonality between us that we can build a relationship off of? And then eventually they're either going to ask about EXP. I mean, I'm not I'm direct, but I'm not direct, meaning like I wait to see when timing is right. And then when it's somebody that, say it's somebody in your office that you've had an acquaintance with, but you really weren't friends, you just knew them, you saw them at office meetings, I'm going to say, hey, let's go have coffee. Like, I'd love to get to know you. I think people really appreciate when you take the time to get to know them. The other thing that you can do is send them something unexpected. I mean, I sent flowers to an agent who just will not talk to me. We have this kind of like, it's almost like a banter going on. We've been having it for 18 months. And she's a great gal. She needs this for her family. There's like I believe that 100%. And she was going to be in some pageant. So I sent her flowers. I mean, you just do something special to make people know that you're not just another call, another text. I mean, we're bombarded with information. Like, do things to help them see that you're special, like, too. That you're not just another EXP agent or person out there wanting something from them. I mean, as agents, we get bombarded with lots of like, hey, could you do this? Could you do that? And really nothing's much for us. It's more about what we can do for everybody else. So.
I think that's a really good point. Anytime you kind of separate yourself as somebody that actually does care about them, it definitely changes the listening. I know, anytime we could do that for a client, we get a different perspective, and all of a sudden, like, wow, it's just not a numbers game. They do actually care about me. If I was a brand new agent, new to EXP, whether I've been in the business a long time or not, but I'm new to the EXP model, what are some of the words of advice that you would give for help me get going?
I would focus, if it's an agent attraction, I'd focus on working with agents in the deal. Be the best agent you can be and be educated. When you're working the transaction, go for the win-win. I mean, that's just solid business, period. I would also recommend, just like as those relationships start to materialize and you build those relationships, don't let them stop. I mean, like, you're going to have to find your in somehow. I don't know how to describe that, but find your way into their world. And sometimes, I don't know, it's kind of an innate, and I don't mean this in I mean this in a very like humble way. I have an innate way of like, I just love people. So I love people so much that I'm going to find a way in. I don't really know how I do it sometimes. Sometimes, I mean, if you're
trusting your instincts, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you just go in your gut, and it is a little bit of emotional intelligence. I mean, you just got to be appropriate with people and not just go, hey, this is great for you, and hit them over the head with it. Sometimes you got to appeal to someone who's analytical with numbers, or some other, like, hey, have you looked at the model? And they'll say, oh yeah, I've heard about it. Well, I guess my advice would be to say, well, have you looked at what those numbers mean to you? You know, like rephrase it to them. And a lot of times they're probably going to say no, because they're just hearing hearsay rather than actually looking at the model fully.
Okay, and that's fair, because there's a lot of noise out there in the world. There's a lot of chatter. There's also some people out there that maybe shotgun blasting the whole world about what they're doing as far as this model, but not really taking the time to connect with people and show them how they're different.
Right. There's a zillion realtors out there in the world, and we all seem to be able to, anyone who's successful, we find a way to rise up. And there's a zillion realtors, and you can say, oh, I can't do this real estate business, it's just too tough. You just have to keep hitting the no and hitting and pushing through it. And whether the no is just not now. No is feedback to us. And it just gives us okay, we got to go at a different angle. We got to give them different information. It's just like a listing or a buyer. I mean, you just have to help people get past those their objections, basically, of what it is that they're saying no to.
Here's what I see in the world, right? We're bombarded constantly. Wherever we go, right? You go on social media, a little bit of an escape. There's constant sponsored ads. There's videos that popped up. Everywhere you drive, everywhere you go, there's constant noise and chatter of people really, pushing whatever it is that they're selling. And it's not a bad thing. It just is what is. Right. And if we look at it through the lens of, whether it be an expired listing, as you mentioned, maybe a for sale by owner, maybe an online lead that comes in, and it also portrays the same way in the EXP recruiting, is get to the bottom line of, hey, have you looked at how these numbers will impact you, right? If you're talking to an expired listing and, they're obviously frustrated at this point, they had a plan to sell. Obviously, they put it for sale at some point earlier in the year. They did not expect to still be here. They're going to be frustrated. Connecting with them, one, as a human, which is what I heard you say earlier, really connecting with them is going to separate yourself. And then looking at it through the same lens and talking to them of hey, let's really take a deep dive in and see how these numbers are going to impact you, versus, hey, why am I the best? I'm the best. We're number one. How many agents call with that line? I remember expired listings asking me, how can so many agents be number one? Because they all call saying, oh, we're number one, right? And who's that about? That's about the agent. Versus what you're talking about, whether it be recruiting or talking to a client, is how does this really impact you? How does this improve you and your life? I love
Show me, don't tell me, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so share with us a trip or technique or something that you and your team are doing with, using maybe KV Core or some of the other models to help grow your production side of your business, the sales side. What are some of the things that you're implementing that you're noticing a big difference?
System-wise, I would say we've just started using KV Core and implementing that. But the biggest thing we've done is we've found an ISA recently to help with conversion. I think right now agents' leads we can buy leads all day long, but I think the best investment of time and energy is learning to convert. So if you can take those leads, we all are going to get leads. You can pay for leads, buy them, but then you have to spend the energy on the conversion piece of it and really getting down to your scripts, getting your agents, if you have a team, getting your agents to help them be able to do the long play, so to speak. We help them with systems, like we've done custom drip campaigns. Craig's really good at helping us with our marketing. So we've really, that's really our focus. I think what you do is you just build, you got to focus on one thing or you got to focus on one thing and then keep that focus on that. And don't get distracted with a bunch of shiny objects. There is no easy button. Just like losing weight or working out. There's no easy button. You just have
no 7-minute abs. No 7-minute abs.
I wish I have some great looking abs. No 7-minute abs in real estate. But I guess for me, the big thing is just for the agents. I think with KV Core, it's a great tool. Definitely utilize that, and just stay in the converting game. Don't not convert. That's where people fail. So
Shelley, it's interesting you say that. I've been in this industry 25 years now, and everybody's saying, well, the business has changed. The business has changed. There's certain aspects that I could say Yeah, how leads can arrive to you have changed. There wasn't the internet 20, 25 years ago where leads were coming in. But I think what you said I thought was right on is the scripts, learning how to convert, learning how to really communicate and connect. And that works on all ends of the business, buyers, sellers, recruiting, really taking the time to master your craft and then having the patience. I know for me that, leads are going to fall in a couple of categories. One, which is everybody's favorite lead. They need to do something and they're ready to do something right now. Unfortunately, that's a small percentage of the leads. A lot of them are in the nurture aspect where they're starting to think about or dream of, at some point in the future, we want to get a bigger home, or we want to downsize, or we want to move to whatever city or state. And in all aspects, it's one, as you said, get comfortable with the long play. Two, master your scripts and have a process in place, whether it be yourself learning to convert or putting in the drip campaign and having an ISA as part of your team or your system to help follow up on those leads. That is absolutely phenomenal advice. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So we're kind of running short on time. Is there anything else that you wanted to leave the call with? And then I might be able to open it up for one or two questions. If you have a question, type it in the chat box and we'll read it out. So Shelley, anything else before I open up for a question or two? One
of the things I would like to share with everybody is life is going to happen and you have to, regardless. Like I'm doing a Zoom call right now from my dad's house because we're in the middle of helping him move to North Carolina. He's retiring. He's got Parkinson's, not in a great place. We've got tons and tons of family stuff going on personally, heart surgeries, mother-in-law's moving. I mean, it's insane right now. Like most people couldn't handle the amount of stuff going on in our life right now for our family, but still, I'm doing a Zoom call with you guys right now. This morning, I was moving boxes and sweaty and didn't look very great. and then this afternoon, I'm going to be back at it as soon as we hang up. I'm going to get my dad some food and we're going to go back at this. But life happens and you cannot let life take you off track for your goals. So I see a lot of people go, oh, they can make an excuse all day long to not hit goals. Last night, we moved all day yesterday and Father's Day. Last night I took a top agent to dinner. I had to eat dinner. So, oops, I don't know what happened there. We had to eat dinner. So basically, regardless of, what's happening in your life, just stay in it. Don't stop or your goals aren't going to happen. You have to be in control of your life, regardless of what struggles or what's going to hit you sideways. You walk out the door today, something's going to happen. It's going to say, you're going to be all motivated, energized. I know that I do. And it happens to all of us. This is a human nature thing that we all get sidetracked. So that's my big thing is like, just stay on task and your goals will happen.
You know what? I don't think I could have summarized this call anything better. And, first of all, thank you for taking your time while everything you're doing. Hey, Dad, everybody wave to Dad. It is. You're obviously an amazing human being that's willing to give while you're in a time of family, family challenge. Obviously, your family will persevere through this, and
yeah, they're going to be great. No choices.
Absolutely, right? And that's when you're holding the line. But I tell you that probably one of the biggest takeaways for me on this call, and obviously everybody's going to have different takeaways about what you said about the long play. And life happens. Life happens to your clients. Life happens, to your prospects. Life happens to other agents that, maybe you're talking to. And obviously life happens to yourself. But if you're clear and committed on where you're going, you're taking the time to improve on your scripts and skills and you're executing on it each day, it will work out. And
it will.
Would you mind sharing with us how many people you and Craig have in your organization?
We have 32 are level 1. So you don't have, that's a key thing is you don't have to have a ton of level 1s to have this company change your life. We have over 1,025. I know Craig knows the exact number. I think that's right, Craig?
Higher.
We have more.
It's well over 1,000.
We have over 1,000 people in our organization, and I will tell you this company will change your life. This is a golden nugget you have in front of you, and if you take hold of it and you do the work, and it doesn't have to be perfect, like perfection sucks. Just take control of it and own it, you're going to really crush it, and you're going to change your family's lives, and you're going to be able to do stuff like I'm doing for my family. We have 1,035. Someone just showed me.
There you go.
So, but it's exciting though, because it just grows. Like y'all are in Vegas. We've got people all over the country. We've got Rummy in New Jersey. I can see you're like right next to Joe Rummy, so you're getting all my attention.
Rummy's in New York. He clarified that.
New York, I keep saying that. Sorry, I'm going to put you in New Jersey, Rummy.
I got your back, Rummy.
But no, but Craig and I are 100% in with you guys. We're in your corner. You need us. It doesn't matter if you think you know us or don't get to know us. We want to know you. We want to help you. We want you to have everything you want in life and more. And people have done it for us, so don't feel bad, because we wouldn't be where we are without people helping us. And if people help people, you're going to win at this. So lean on us.
I think that's spot on. I think the biggest thing that I've learned about the EXP organization as a whole is the caliber of agents that get involved are the ones that are contributing to others and want to help and want to support and help each other grow. And the structure is set up in a way that it allows us to do it. And to your point, you're out of North Carolina. I'm here in Vegas. I don't think there would be another way that we would ever have connected. Nope. Without this opportunity. So
I'm grateful.
Cody, do you have anything that you'd like to say as we wrap up this call?
No, I just want to say thanks, Shelley. I mean, one of the reasons that I joined this company was because I wanted to be around winners. And I saw that there were just winner after winner after winner in this organization, in the EXP company in whole. So yeah, it was a no-brainer from a numbers perspective. Technology, it was a no-brainer, all those things. But the thing that is the biggest blessing to me in my life is that I'm working with a guy like Joe D, some of my other friends that are here in Las Vegas that I would have never been able to work with. And we get to associate with people like you and my sponsor, Bill. I mean, it's just been
Bill's great.
I just didn't even anticipate it, and it's been awesome. So thanks for your time. I know this wasn't the most convenient day and time for you, but
no, it's great. It worked out great. I love it. It keeps me in my game. So 2 real quick things I want to share with you guys. You guys are so lucky if you're in Vegas, because in August 20th through the 22nd, Brent Gove, who's in your upline, you may not know him yet. The guy is freaking dynamo. Pardon?
Cody, type this in the chat. Type the dates.
The 20th through the 22nd, and you can go to Brent Gove Resources or Brent Gove Resources. We'll put it in Impact. If you aren't on Impact through Facebook, that's a really powerful place to be, so that you can get information from what's happening with events. But Brent Gove event, we'll get all the information to you guys. It's the 20th through the 22nd. It's in your backyard, and it's going to be a massive event. If you have agents you're thinking that you would love to come to EXP, get them there. They will join. Because you cannot get around. There's going to be 1,000 agents. It's going to be at a great resort. You cannot get around that much energy and stay where you are. If you do, you're just kind of like something else is going on. I don't know what. But you can't get around that guy and all the great people that are going to be there. So please, please, please go to that if you're in Vegas. And I will see you there. Craig and I both will be there. It's going to be fun. So it'll be fun and it'll be impactful. The other thing too is if you're not in Vegas or you can't make it there, we have our Myrtle Beach event. It's our first one, Impact 2019. That's the name of our organization. And it's going to be July 15th through the 17th. We have national speakers coming. I think someone who knows how to do all this crazy like iBot and all this, like she knows how to, I can't even think of the word, but basically be able to do retargeting, and she knows how to do social media on a high level. So that's going to be a great event because we're bringing in some special folks to train on that. And it's going to be real estate related as well as helping grow your organization. So just be on the lookout for those 2 events. I know in Impact, we've got lots of marketing going on in the Myrtle Beach event. And then if you want to go to the Brent Gove event, call me, text me, I'll get you that website. My phone number is 704-609-8077. And call me if you need my help with agent attraction, whatever. Don't do it alone either. That's my other advice.
Don't do it alone. Yeah, it's like going in a bad neighborhood. You should never go alone, right? Reach out for support.
Well, you're their friend. They need someone else to help them see the big picture. So if you want to be successful, lean on Cody, lean on Joe, lean on me, Craig, Bill, Brent. Any of us will help you.
Excellent. All right. Well, out of respect for the time, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody else joining up. Hey, Craig, I know we've got you on the calendar coming up. No pressure, but your partner just hit it out of the park. So Looking
He's going to crush it.
looking forward to seeing you on this video conference here in a few weeks. All right, guys, that's it for us. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, any need, we've got Shelley's number down in the chat, and we'll look forward to seeing you again on the next Power 30 call from the Synergy Group next week. All right, guys, take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Great seeing you, Joe. Bye, Cody.
See ya.
Bye, Rami.